is also charged with threatening the president, indicted over a picture he posted on Instagram last year of seashells on a beach that formed 8647. 86, a slang term that could mean remove or kill. 47, a potential Trump reference. But Comey's defiant, reacting to the charges on Substack.
Nothing has changed with me. I'm still innocent. I'm still not afraid. And I still believe in the independent federal judiciary, so let's go.
The first Comey indictment alleging he lied to Congress was dismissed by a federal judge questioning the legality of the appointment of the U.S. attorney. War Secretary Pete Hegseth will testify at a House hearing in 2 hours about the military budget, expected to face a lot of questions, especially from Democrats, on the Iran conflict. After President Trump posted this on Truth Social at 4 o'clock this morning.
Iran can't get their act together. They don't know how to sign a non-nuclear deal. They better get smart soon, perhaps a reference to reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Now, the Wall Street Journal reporting Trump tells aides to prepare for extended blockade of Iran.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson in Dubai last night. President Trump again vowed Iran can't have a nuclear weapon during a white tie state dinner honoring Britain's King Charles.
I offer a toast to 250 years of American freedom, and very importantly, to a great man, His Majesty.
America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a tale of Tina searching up and down for decent GLP-1s, but got spun around.
Till Good RX wrote in, hey, we got something new. GLP-1 prescriptions, all FDA approved.
Brand name meds, no flags that are red.
Clear pricing from the start. None of those hidden fees in your cart.
Delivered to your door or pick up same day. Darn tootin'.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Hot foot it to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Well, we referenced last night's state dinner at the White House honoring Britain's king, hours after he held talks with President Trump and addressed Congress.
King Charles III says bonds between the United States and the United Kingdom were forged long before 1776.
This is a city which symbolizes a period in our shared history, or what Charles Dickens might have called a tale of two Georges.
The king says since American independence, the U.S. and U.K. have stood shoulder to shoulder to defend democracy and defeat tyranny, adding the same resolve is needed today for Ukraine. The monarch's visit comes as President Trump has questioned NATO and has criticized U.K. Prime Minister Keir Starmer for not doing more in the war with Iran. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Well, today, King Charles travels to New York City. He'll visit the 9/11 memorial nearly 25 years after the terror attack. There's a lot of storm damage in the Dallas, Texas area.
In the industrial area, we do have major damage and major hazards that are all across the road.
Fire Chief Ryan Dunn in Mineral Wells, which got twisted apart by a tornado. Several injuries were reported. No death in all the destruction, though. On Wall Street, stock futures are not moving much after yesterday's sell-off as oil prices rise. Gas is at a new high since the Iran conflict. In the NBA playoffs, the Spurs advanced to round 2. San Antonio beat and eliminated the Portland Trailblazers 114-95. The Philadelphia 76ers stayed alive, beating Boston 113-97. The Celtics still up 3 games to 2. The New York Knicks blew out Atlanta by almost 30 points to take a 3-2 series lead. In hockey, a series-saving game-winning goal.
Stretch pass on. Pastrnak in. Score!
David Pastrnak won Game 5 for the Boston Bruins, beating Buffalo 2-1 on TNT. The Edmonton Oilers also staved off elimination, beating Anaheim 4-1. The Sabres and Ducks, though, still lead those series 3-2. The Minnesota Wild beat Dallas 4-2 to go up 3-2 on the Stars. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox
News Talk 710 KURV, broadcasting from the Valley's All-American Truck Headquarters studio at PayneAutomall.com.
Happy Wednesday. It is April 29th, 2026. You're in tune with the Valley's Morning News. This is News Talk 710 KURV. This is News Radio for South Texas. Thank you for joining us on 710 AM radio. Thank you for joining us on 9. Producer Freddie, he posts the 7 o'clock hour live on, Facebook and X and YouTube Live as well. You can do a rewind there. Join us at Radio Panamí. Download the free app and listen on your smartphone. I'm Sergio Sanchez, along with show producer Fred Cruz. Jason Katerina from AccuWeather on standby. He's got more heat for us. Local note, a student at Idea Quest Academy in McAllen is facing charges after allegedly sending a boy to the hospital by sharing a vape. First responders were called to the Idea Quest campus last Wednesday after a 12-year-old student began vomiting and eventually passed out. Investigators discovered that another student shared a vape containing a synthetic stimulant with a 12-year-old. Police are investigating how the student who was arrested got the vape, and Idea Quest is reportedly exploring possible disciplinary action. It's 7 minutes after the hour. News Talk 710 KURV. City Council, Alamo, voted unanimously to fire their city manager, Bobby Salinas. No cause for the action was given. Alamo Police Chief Saul Solis will serve as acting city manager. Several commercial driver license schools across the state of Texas are now under investigation by the Texas Attorney General. Ken Paxton says that those schools provided CDLs to unqualified non-English speakers.
The investigation is targeting multiple schools, including Fast Track CDL in Garland. Paxton says the schools told students English proficiency was not necessary, despite federal rules requiring drivers to read and speak in the language. He says the law mandates that CDL trainers need to ensure that students are prepared to safely operate vehicles in compliance with all safety standards. The investigation also finds certain schools are only training for about 20 days and not the required industry norm of 3 to 7 weeks. Paxton says he will continue to investigate schools to ensure Texans are safe on the road.
That's reporter Emily Capetillo. It's 8 minutes after the hour on the Valley's Morning News. Backers of data centers in Texas say that now is not the time to pull back from this advanced technology.
James Dickey, who's the former chairman of the Republican Party of Texas, argues that leading the way in AI is a key component in national security.
If we let China or anyone else take the lead on AI, that will be nearly unsurmountable.
He says we should look at this as a competition between the American value of free speech versus Beijing's model of centralized surveillance. The data centers that power AI research are poised to become the biggest topic for state lawmakers, some of whom want to reel in the research.
That's Michael Board. And this health and technology note from across the pond, there's a new report out of the UK that finds that 2 out of 3 babies are already putting a lot of screen time.
Kids under 2 should not use phones and tablet computers according to government guidelines, but 70% do use the devices, some for hours a day. In fact, the report by the 1001 Critical Days Foundation and the iAddict Research Group found 1 in 10 children under 2 falls asleep with a screen. The screens can be educational, a distraction, or even a babysitter, but excessive screen time has been linked to obesity, sleep issues, and short-sightedness. I'm Rory O'Neill.
Coming up after AccuWeather, a new poll of consumers. Is this a good time to buy a home? We'll share that information with you. And also coming to Texas, a cyber warfare unit from Space Force headed to Central Texas, San Antonio. That's coming up right after AccuWeather. I want to say good morning and thank you to Dougie over at Martin Farm and Ranch. They provide us AccuWeather, Purina Feed, Purina Nutrition for pets, livestock, and exotics at Martin Farm and Ranch. Also saying good morning to all the gang at Rivera's Machinery on the Expressway in Donna. Best service, warranty, and price for the long haul. Rivera's Machinery. They provide us AccuWeather on the morning news. AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Katerina. And like it or not, it's, again, triple-digit heat for today, tomorrow, next day. What you got, Jason?
Yeah, today near triple digits. Tomorrow we'll be mid, maybe some upper 90s. It tones down a little bit the next couple of days for us. But today 90s to near 100, and then only near 80 tonight. Ugh.
Yeah, that's the overnight for us in the summer. Freddie was telling me last hour. He said, "Man, wow, summer's here, dude." It's like, yeah, May is here. May is
unbelievable.
Yeah, we're in final approach to tropical season. We're about 30 days plus away from the official start of the Atlantic season. hoping we get a little bit of moisture around here for that. Anything to red flag Texas travel? The truckers headed no to.
Late afternoon, Houston way, thunderstorm in spots. Some of those could produce some gusty winds, hail, and some local flooding that continues into tonight, too. So certainly the opportunity for some heavy stuff around Houston.
Okay.
Just a thunderstorm in spots for Dallas. Nothing crazy right now. And San Antonio, thunderstorm this afternoon. Could be some hail and gusty winds with those.
Yeah. Boy, they had some nasty weather up in the Dallas area that made national news, some damage.
Yeah.
Dallas-Fort Worth area last night. But, yeah, they get all the fun this time of year. Yeah, they can have it. All the hail and hurricane force winds, they can have all that in North Texas. Okay, so the AccuWeather forecast for today, it's much like yesterday. Should be upper 90s, maybe triple digits somewhere. And same thing for Thursday, same thing for Friday, looking at like low to mid 90s for highs. And the cool front arrives when, Jason? Friday night, Saturday morning, what?
Friday, let's see, for us, Friday night, couple of evening showers and thunderstorms, breezy, cooler, down to near 60 Friday night.
Nice.
Morning thunderstorm in spots Saturday, 70, mid 70s for Saturday, and then near 80 on Sunday. So pretty nice second weekend.
Check your fly. Is it open? We're celebrating zippers today. It's National Zipper Day. And we also celebrate shrimp scampi. Delicious shrimp scampi. All right, pal. We'll check with you next hour. That's AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Katerina on 710 KURV. Coming up in just a few minutes, about 15, 16 minutes after the hour, a conversation with the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office. They have been more aggressive of late, going after groups, gangs, individuals that are selling THC-laced, THC-infused vapes. They're winding up in schools. And, yeah, just the appropriate conversation now that we have one of those stories coming out at a local campus that some kid got really, really sick with a stimulant from a vape. Again, that's coming up in just a few minutes, so stick around. A good heads up for parents. The Treasury Department is putting new sanctions on some Chinese entities in an effort to try to disrupt Iran's oil exports. Officials saying they announced sanctions on a Chinese oil refinery, dozens of shipping firms and vessels. The Treasury Secretary saying that these sanctions are targeting Iran's oil network, making sure they don't get any money during the Iran war. United Arab Emirates saying that they are withdrawing from OPEC on May 1st.
In a statement, the UAE said it's making the move to give itself more options to increase oil production as the market demands. The Middle Eastern nation said the decision is in line with its long-term economic vision. This could bring down oil prices across the globe if the UAE significantly increases production, as they won't be obligated to stick to OPEC's pricing. In the past, President Trump accused OPEC of, in his words, ripping off the rest of the world by charging higher prices for oil. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz, whether by order of Iran or the ongoing U.S. naval blockade, has sent fuel prices skyrocketing. I'm Michael Kastner.
This note from Central Texas, up in San Antonio, a new Space Force unit that is focused on cyber warfare might be landing in Texas. The Pentagon has made Joint Base San Antonio-Lackland a finalist in the cyber mission. And most Americans think it's a bad time to buy a home.
2/3 of Americans say high prices and high mortgage rates make this a bad time to buy a home. 65% think home prices will continue to rise, but some cities may see price drops. Only 25% of non-home owners predicted that they would be buying a house in the next 5 years. That's a record low. 45%, almost half, do not plan on buying a home in the foreseeable future. I'm Rory O'Neill.
Program note for 710 KURV. Join us on the Sergio Show, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We got all the team out there now. Broadcasting from Brownsville at the Livery Venue downtown. It's a regional-wide Texas conversation on economic growth and the assets we have and that we rapidly need as the economy is growing very fast. Up next on 710 KURV, conversation with the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office. Yes, they are conducting searches and going after gangs that are selling marijuana, THC-infused vapes, and some of those winding up at schools. That's next on 710 KURV.
Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more, right at Staples. That was easy.
Come into Genesis of Harlingen today and soak up the feeling of the dynamic yet elegant design and cutting-edge technology. Visit today and choose from a great selection like a 2026 Genesis GV70. Lease one today for $499 a month for 24 months. Come see where refined sophistication meets powerful innovation at Genesis of Harlingen at 8521 West Expressway 83 in Harlingen. Shop from the entire line of Genesis online at genesisofharlingen.com. Genesis of Harlingen, a Bert Ogden Auto Group dealership.
Funny how you don't notice the little things until they get hard. Things like buttoning a shirt, cooking a simple meal. That's when I called Healthcare Unlimited for my parents years ago. HCU, Healthcare Unlimited, serving all of South Texas since 1990, the highest quality rated home care agency in the entire region. They can send a caring attendant to help with daily tasks right at home and still feels independent. If your loved one needs help at home, call Healthcare Unlimited at 956-994-9911 and mention you heard it on 710 KURV.
Brian Kilmeade here, inviting you to tune in weekday mornings starting at 9 for The Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez on News Talk 710 KURV and KURV.com.
Join me on the Sergio Show, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. this morning on the road, downtown Brownsville at the Regional Wide Texas Conference. Also, we'll be focusing on Startup Week at Brownsville. Big thank you to our supporters made the broadcast possible today. Greater Brownsville Economic Development Office. Thank you to the Rio Grande Valley Port of Brownsville and the City of Brownsville. Public safety at public schools, the focus now as Hidalgo County authorities are going after the drug runners. And the drugs have a new shape, a new form these days. Yes, they have been, I understand 2026, the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office has committed themselves to go after gangs and criminal groups, organizations that are infusing local schools with THC-infused vapes. I got a friend in the studio who knows a little bit about public safety, former police chief, right, in Mission, right, or it was a public officer, information officer for Mission.
Yes, sir.
The chief of police at La Jolla ISD, though. And I was surprised it was for 22 years.
Yes.
And now he's with the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office. I lovingly refer to him as Cool Raul Gonzalez. Okay, my brother. So take me back to this campaign in 2026, Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office, answering the call from school districts and families. We have a THC cartridge, vape cartridges that are infused with THC. We got a real problem in the community, and they're winding up in schools. So tell me about this commitment at the Sheriff's Office, the response.
Well, good morning. Thank you for having us here. And, on behalf of the Sheriff Guerra, obviously, community quality of life for us is very important. So recently, the community has been posting videos of us doing search warrants and around our community. So we wanted to make sure that the community understands that we are targeting street-level drug dealers, and an emphasis in making sure that we get rid of the THC vapes that are infusing, that are reaching our communities, our students, our kids, our neighborhoods. And parents are calling and they're concerned. So we've been doing search warrants around the community. Obviously, it takes a lot to get a search warrant. So we've been doing a lot of work. Our Special Operations Division, our narcotics officers working with different agencies, our partnerships. We're getting the calls, we're getting the complaints, we're getting the concerns. We're doing the legwork. And we've arrested people. We've confiscated vape pens that have THC on them. We have been targeting and been talking to members of smoke shops and letting them know that we're going after all of these things that are illegal. Unfortunately, a lot of this is not happening inside some of the vape shops. So what they do is they buy their nicotine vapes, they sell them in bundles, and the street-level drug dealers, they change the cartridges with nicotine, and they put THC, and now they sell them to the kids and to other street-level drug dealers that are selling them out of their homes, and people are going to the neighborhood. So we're getting calls not only having to deal with this, but people are being victims of thefts because people are stealing stuff so that they can go buy this THC.
Wow.
So it's just a combination of other things that are concerning for the sheriff and for the sheriff's office and for the community. I mean, there's an increase of burglaries in some areas because people are trying to get money so they can buy the THC, the vapes. So again, it's just a combination of things that we are doing. Obviously, this is not an isolated incident. We've been targeting this, and we're going to continue to target the street level drug dealers because we want to stop this as much as we can.
Raul Gonzalez, Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office is very active in a new 2026 campaign going after groups or gangs, whoever's responsible for converting the regular nicotine vape cartridges into THC marijuana, THC infused cartridges. There's a black market for this. Where do they get the liquid? Do they manufacture it, or do they buy it from out of state, bring it in because it's legal in other places, or how does that work?
Yeah,
you know?
so it's coming from overseas, right? So it's coming from different countries, and unfortunately,
Not other states in like Colorado.
No. I mean,
it's
they're
not legal
getting
there.
no, they're getting bundles of packages from overseas, and we're intercepting them. And obviously, it's in the black market. People are buying them, and then once they get to the communities, the street level drug dealers are selling them out of their homes. They're selling in large quantities, especially to kids that are wanting to sell at schools. And
Wow.
and so it's a obviously it's an operation. And once we target one group, then we find out that they move somewhere else. So and the reason behind this is, number one, it's it doesn't smell, right? So it's a liquid form, and unfortunately, right now we're still trying to identify how to identify the nicotine away from the THC. So it's a liquid form. Number two, it's not detectable because sometimes the smell is cherry, strawberry, and things like that.
Wow.
So it's not the regular. Back in the day, people would not go to the back of their home and smoke a joint, and people would smell it all over the neighborhood. It doesn't happen that way. I mean, we've detained juveniles, we've arrested people, and basically they're telling us that it's happening everywhere. We're getting calls from administrators in the schools that they're saying, "Hey, man, we got kids that are high on drugs, and we find out that it's THC and it's coming out from the community. So can you guys help us?" So that's why we're targeting these street level drug dealers, because they are providing this illegal substances to our students, to our kids, to our community members, and they're taking it to their schools, and it's affecting the schools as well.
The drug sniffing pooches, the drug sniffers, the dogs.
Yeah,
they can't detect this.
So again, we have to train the dogs, right? So the dogs are trained for the traditional marijuana, and now if you train a dog for a certain smell or for a certain item, then you have to be training them for different smells. So again, this is obviously people are getting the liquid from the marijuana plant, and they're putting them in cartridges, and now they're smoking them like if they were nicotine. So again, I think we need to do a better job as a community in trying to identify these things. So it's not just the enforcement part that we want for the community to know about. We also want parents to help us, right? Talk to your community, talk to your children, talk to them early and often, right? One of the other things is a lot of parents and a lot of people do not actually know what a vape pen is. Some of them look like regular pens or USBs, and so parents need to know this, right? You're not gonna. We remember back in the day, we used to tell parents, check your children's room and look for marijuana joints and marijuana baggies. Well, it's not that anymore. It's kind of different, right?
That's true.
Watch for behavioral signs, right? A lot of times, people, you may not. We don't tell people, hey, look for their smell, because it's not the marijuana smell anymore, right? So watch for behavioral signs: red bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, very active or very violent behavior.
It's the same red flags.
It's the same red flags. The
As
only difference is the smell, which is why we're having a difficult time identifying.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
you go from smelling like skunk to smelling like strawberries.
Yes, yeah, and poopery,
crazy?
right? Yeah, it's so people think that they're okay, right? And people pass it on like, no, I just had a long day yesterday. I stayed up late watching movies, and that's why my eyes are red. And but not understanding that they're high, right? And then some of the other things is the community needs to understand the legal side. Okay, possession of THC in the state of Texas is illegal, right? And a lot of people say, "Oh, it's for personal use." No, it's not. It's still against the law here in the state of Texas, right?
Yeah.
So we've done some cold stops, which are traffic stops, and we find out that they have vape pens, and they have once we test them, they have THC. They get arrested. Hey, why are you arresting me? I thought that we're okay with it. No, it's not. There's a difference between nicotine and THC. THC in the state of Texas is still illegal. Okay, and people are getting arrested. And then the other thing that we always recommend, again, the partnership with our community to make sure that we don't continue to see an increase of this type of activity, is model behavior, right? Talk to your kids. Don't do it yourself. Don't be saying, okay, I'm gonna get a vape pen and put some THC in it for I want to feel good or whatever. So I think it's just a lot of things that we're working. And here at the sheriff's office, we talk about pride, and we talk about integrity, and obviously community, and the partnerships that we have with the community is very important for us. We're listening to the community. We're listening to their concerns. We're getting our officers to respond, our deputies to respond, so that we can take care of things that are a necessity for our community.
THC marijuana, THC vape cartridges versus, I don't know, like a bag of marijuana.
A lot more potent. The
more,
THC. Yes, the THC.
Is it cheaper? Is it to the point now where it's cheaper than grass or joints?
It's the same, right? But it's easier. It's easier to get. It's easier to get, and it's a lot difficult for law enforcement to detect it. So you go to a smoke shop, you buy a nicotine vape pen. Nothing wrong with it, but once they get in the black market, that's where we're having a difficult part.
This is a novelty pen, but I would say an example of what parents need to look for, something like this around this size.
Yes,
it might look like a novelty pen, but it would be a vape pen, and we have a place for a little liquid cartridge in there. So that's what moms and dads need to look for.
Yes.
And I recall my son is 1 year removed from high school. He's been in college now, but rolling the clock back, about 3, 4, 5 years back, in the IDEA public school system, there's a no tolerance. They catch you with a vape, man, you're out. You can face criminal charges. I suspect that other school districts are doing the same, but it's on campus. Just vapes. It doesn't have to be THC infused. If it's THC infused, it's even worse.
Right.
For the students.
So the Texas Education Agency adopted a policy that anybody that gets caught with vape pens in schools, they get removed from the regular high school, the regular school, and they are placed in an alternative center. So again, there are some legal consequences. So that's why it's important for parents to understand the legal side of THC vape pens, especially in schools. Out in the community, obviously, the legal side is you're going to get arrested.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's going to cost you some money.
Yeah. 10-4. I got less than a minute. And these raids that the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office is involved in, and the search warrants that you're involved in, any surprises, anything that's come up as a result of this that has surprised?
So again, don't be surprised. If you're doing illegal stuff, you're going to have somebody knocking on your door. And we're going to go in there and we're going to confiscate this, and you're going to get arrested. Yeah. Bottom line.
All right. Thanks, Raul. Good to see you again. Call anytime.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
From the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office, Raul Gonzalez.
Come experience larger-than-life luxury and design at Bird Ogden Infinity in Edinburgh. You're invited to come in and choose from a great selection